so we can finally did the whole Destiny and Tiffany storyline, because Tiffany has laid out her entire life for the people, and I think that Destiny can move on now. I think she can move on. Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3, Episode 13, A Date with Destiny. Destiny is getting all glammed up for a cover shoot she's doing for Hype Hair magazine. Leah from Married to Medicine LA drops in, and because she's the owner of Hype Hair, and I'm like, they didn't tell us that. I think she might be a new owner, but I don't think she was the owner when they were filming Married to Medicine. I know she was in the hair business. I remember that. But the owner of Hype Hair magazine, I don't remember that. So go ahead, Leah. I like Leah anyway. So it was good to see Leah. Anyway, her daddy comes to the shoot with flowers. He's emotional, you know. He's proud of his baby. Tisha drops by, and she and Destiny sit down. When they take a break, they talk about the trip, and you know, it's supposed to be about mending friendships and a bond and all of that. And Tiffany's name comes up. Tisha and Destiny agree that, you know, Tiffany doesn't really know how to read a room. She's very transparent, but it's really just rude. It comes off very rude. They feel like they don't even know nothing about her, but she coming in asking all these questions about husbands and kids and all of that. Tisha suggests that they go have a shopping day, and you know, Destiny says, well, we've already set something up. We supposed to be linking up, you know, like I'm open to it, you know. There are good parts about Tiffany that she does like, but she feels like they got to do this without Melody, because Melody is always, you know, the mother hen, and they don't need a mother hen. They changed the subject to Marceau and his refusal, you know, to renew his vows. Tisha says that she was just over the whole trip by then anyway, so she didn't really, you know, girl, you was bothered, but okay. They had fun at the restaurant, you know, they talk about that, their conversations. That makes her think about Marceau and his, you know, announcement that he's been battling depression. You know, it was news to her, it was a surprise to her. And in her confessional, she says that she noticed the disconnect between the two of them for a while now, but she just chalked it up to stress, you know, his heavy workload. All right, Martell drops in on Marceau, and he asks him to be a part of this 47-acre project that he was supposed to be having a meeting with Chris. And so he done brought Chris over here to Marceau place. So they finna basically ambush Chris. Chris don't know Marceau gonna be there. They're going to start removing trees over there and everything. So, you know, Martell has to find somebody to partner up with, you know, somebody with a builder's license. Marceau got one, you know, so that's why he there. Melody is also still contemplating on building on the 47 acres. So, Martell really got to make moves. And Marceau is just like, well, would you ever consider working with Melody? And Marceau going to say, you know, I think that could work. Really, Marceau? It's not gonna work. Anyway, Chris shows up, and you know, they fill him in on everything, and they ask his opinion on Martell and Melody working together, and Chris and this on the same page. I'm just like, y'all must not know Melody. Y'all must not know Melody and Martell and their history. You know, they can't even go on no trip to Vegas together. Y'all want them to work together? Okay. All right. He talking about they both adults, you know, and it's strictly business. Okay. Whatever. Destiny ends up meeting with Tiffany. And, you know, at first it's kind of nice, nasty, like they always do, you know, throwing that passive aggressive shade back and forth. Because Tiffany don't really like to take accountability right off the bat for her passive aggressive mouth. You know, it's very, I don't think that I have a smart mouth. Do I have a smart mouth? You do. You do. I'm telling you, you do. Do I have a smart mouth? Yes, girl. Yes. She deflects, talking about telling Destiny to put herself in her shoes. Destiny said, okay, I'm going to put myself in your little pink pumps. They zoom in on the pink pumps. She tells her, you know, that Destiny says that she didn't come in, like she came in. I didn't come in talking about people's husbands, kids, exes, none of that. I didn't do all of that. And then we flashed to what Destiny did do and how she dragged that whole chicken comment out, with Kimmy. So Destiny, you did do what you did. So you ain't all the way, innocent. That's what Tiffany is trying to say. But Tiffany, girl, don't go there. Stand in what you did. Okay, let's not bring up, well, what about when you came into the fold? How were you perceived? So everybody just liked you. So everybody just took to you. See, that's what we're talking about. That's very passive aggressive. Your tone and the delivery. It's off. You out of order. I need you to know that, Tiffany. Destiny just wants to know, like, okay, so what's your tea? We don't know nothing about you. So you so transparent, but what about you? And then Tiffany says, well, starting out, coming here, coming into this world, my name wasn't Tiffany. And at first I was thinking, whoa, are we going to a place? Are we going to say that this is a trans woman? What are we doing? Because I thought the lady had kids. Not to say trans women cannot have children because they can adopt, surrogate, all of that. But I just didn't see that. Like she got baby making hips. That's a mama. So that wasn't what it was. When we came back from commercial, she was just saying that her name wasn't Tiffany. Her name was Jamie Lynn somebody. Her mama was a white woman who slept with a black man and got pregnant and didn't want to keep her black child. So she gave up her black child for adoption and kept her other white children at home with her. So it's F that mama. Sorry. I mean, but not sorry. Her adoptive parents, were also biracial. And so she didn't think nothing of it. She got pregnant very young, and a neighbor that her adoptive mother confided in ended up telling her. And I'm like, now who is this telling all the business? And why was she telling? Anyway, and that's how she found out that she was adopted and all of that. So she has a, little sordid past herself. Destiny can relate because Destiny also grew up in the foster care system. Her mother is still an addict, so she gets it. Tiffany continues, growing up, she had identity issues, that's understandable. I think most biracial children go through that, because the black kids don't accept you because you ain't black enough. And then the white kids don't accept you because you black, and so then it's like, well, where the fuck do I go? Where do I fit in? It's unfortunate. It really is. Destiny ends up apologizing, for bringing up LeBerick at the brunch. She hates that they got off on the wrong foot. Destiny accepts the apology, and she also apologizes for threatening to drag her in Vegas. She said, at the time I meant what I said, but I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said all of that. They agree to start over. Okay, Melody, she drops by Chris's office to talk about the 47 acres. He shows her the specs, all the numbers, all of that. She's on board, and he asks her if she'll be building on all 45 lots or just a few. And she's like, listen, I got kids and mouths to feed. It's going to be all of them. It's going to be all of them. He tells her that he met with Martell and, Marceau was at the meeting as well. And, of course, now Melody finds it funny, that Martell is in here trying to backbite and take money out of her pocket and all of that. It's unfortunate that he would try to stop her bag, especially after he and Marceau just mended fences, like, why would you do that? I'm your ex-wife, the mother of your kids. But girl, if he make money, it's still gonna go in the kids' mouths because them his kids too, Melody. I almost said her name like Wanda be saying Menony. I almost did that. I don't know what be going on, y'all. I be talking too fast, but it's coming. It's coming. And as the thoughts come, the mouth ain't keeping up. The mouth just ain't keeping up. Martell, he stops by Maurice's office to talk about his credit because he got bad credit now after this divorce. And he's 100 points lower than he was. He got to get that credit up. Got to build it up. He can't just go into the bank like he used to and just get a line of credit. But he's hoping Maurice can help him, and Maurice says that he will. He tells him, it's gonna take time, so slow down. Don't think that it'll be tomorrow. But we're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. And then he's more concerned that, about his mental health, after this conversation with Marcel. He says he gonna go to a therapist and he thinks Martell should too. It's like, Maurice, just going on to therapy. Trying to drag everybody with you. Just going on, okay? Martell done been to therapy and I don't think it helped. I don't think it helps. So yeah, let Martell know if the therapist helps you, because Dr. Francis, I don't think he could get through to Martell. He wasn't getting through to him, not at all. Speaking of Dr. Francis, Tisha goes to see Dr. Francis. He asks her what made her come back. She says she's been burnt out as of lately. And, of course, he asks, well, what's burnt you out? And she starts listing her day-to-day routine and all that she has to do that, includes being a wife and a mom and a businesswoman. And she's talking about her 4 kids, because that's including Marcel. And he gonna say, Dr. Francis said, you telling me that? Yeah. Ain't this therapy, Dr. Francis? He tells her that, she shouldn't have to tell him to do anything, really. She proceeds to tell him about her upbringing and how she saw the women in her family cater to the men. They didn't really, let the men lift a finger. So that's just what it is. Of course, he asked her if she's doing that in her own marriage. She is, but it's not intentionally. Marriage and kids weren't even a part of her plan. It just kind of happened, like they were married right out of college. She met him her senior year. She got pregnant her senior year. I want to say she said she was like 19. No, I don't know. Anyway, she got married, fairly young. It just happened. Marriage and kids. It just was like, bloop, there it is. And so it wasn't like a plan. She didn't plan any of it. So she's just trying to, figure out, how this works, how this works, because she's growing and changing, and Marceau is not. I don't know what's going on out there, y'all. She's not saying that she's unhappy, but she is saying, that she has to figure out whether this was her plan or his. She tells him about Marceau being depressed, and, she thought that it was a heavy workload, and she tells him that he told her that she was the reason for, some of the depression, because she's materialistic and she wants things. And, Dr. Francis is like, so he's holding you hostage for the depression. Do you feel like you caused his depression? And she doesn't feel like she's caused his depression. Not at all. He asked, what about the material things? What about that is so important to her? And she says that's her love language, gift giving. And so because her mom never told her, said the words, I love you, the way she showed it was giving gifts and giving things. And so she expects that all, across the board. Although Marceau does tell her he loves her, it's just not something she's used to. She's more accustomed to gifts. And so you give me some gifts, I feel like you love me. So that's her whole thing. And he's like, well, that's on you and not on Marceau. That's a you problem. She changes the subject to her anniversary trip with the friends. And, she tells him it was a good time, all up until she wanted to renew the vows and he didn't want to. He told her that it was, a joke. People that go to Vegas and do that, it's just for a joke or whatever. And he's like, did you think it was a joke? And of course she didn't think it was a joke. Yes, she wanted it to be something fun, and lighthearted, but she wasn't taking it like a joke. She really wanted to renew her vows. And it's mainly because she's trying to save face, because people got the rumors swirling. And, the rumors, that I guess that would put some of that to rest if he, publicly acknowledged that, that he loved his wife. I guess, I understand the logic, but that was, the sole purpose behind let's renew our vows, in front on TV, because the people are already out here say X, Y, and Z. And so she's trying to prove everybody wrong. He asked, if they've talked about the rumors, are they false? And she says, yes, but he always tells her, you know me. You should know that I'm not doing any of that. There should be no question. She feels like there's been a lot of smoke but no fire. But she says she has to pay attention to her man, though. She got to pay attention to her husband and block out all the outside noise. Dr. Francis is like, well, the truth needs no defense. We know that. That we know. And, so what is it about you that makes you want to defend Marceau? And, he's like, this isn't about him anymore. This is about you. And she's just like, I don't like when people lie on people. Like, if I know the truth, then I'm going to, speak my truth. I'm going to stand up and say something if I know somebody's lying. Dr. Francis says, so in order for you to defend him, you have to be absolutely certain that what he's saying is true. So how do you go about finding out the truth? And Tisha's sitting up there looking cheap because she don't know. Girl, you ain't found out the first truth. You just going off of what he's saying. To be continued. I'm sure that Dr. Francis will enlighten her. He's a good therapist. He's just, I don't know. Sometimes he comes off biased. Sometimes, but with this situation right here with Tisha, I think he gave her some great advice. I think he gave her some great advice. But we're gonna see where we pick up at, because it's to be continued. So we're probably gonna pick up right here. So how you go about finding out the truth, Tisha? How you know? Anyway, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.